Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Expat Hoops. This is episode 91, and we're here with Javon Daniels. His pro career started in 2021 in Scotland, and he has played there ever since. He joins us today from Falkirk, Scotland.
Before we get into the interview, if you like the podcast we bring you, give us a like on YouTube, follow us on social media like Instagram, and of course, we have our own website, expathoops.com, where you can find all of our past and future content. And now we're happy to welcome you, Javon. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to sharing my story and just talking more about the great country of Scotland.
Likewise. So we got connected. You are basically in your third season in Scotland, but a little bit about you. You're also from the same general area as Tony and I are in just outside of DC. If you would kind of take us through what your background is from, let's say, high school through to the point where you became a professional.
So through high school, I went to Walkinsville High School, that is in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I played there for all 4 years. Played 2 years of, played a season of JV, then half a season of JV and varsity my sophomore year, then played varsity all the way through then. So I played there, and then I left, graduated. Then I went to go play at Frederick Community College after that. Played 2 seasons there, and then transferred to Northern Vermont University and played 2 seasons there.
And so, as we talked about off the pod, this is kind of where it starts getting into the point that you're about to become a professional. What did that look like? When did you really kind of start making the decision, okay, I'm going to do this? And how did you wind up in Scotland?
So I was kind of towards the end of my senior year at Northern Vermont University. I was just like, I knew I knew I wanted to play more. I knew I had the ability to continue to play, and it's always been an inspiration of mine. And I know so many guys from the DC area who have done it, and I was like, this is something I want to continue to do. I still love the game. I still love the process. So I was just trying to figure out what was going to be the best route for me as a Division III player. I know it can be quite tough. I've talked to a lot of guys who play Division III at a high level, at Division III level, and have played and have been All-Americans and stuff like that. And they were just saying that it's really tough to get an agent and stuff like that. And a lot of agencies, a lot of teams won't take chances on Division III guys. So I was just trying to figure out what would be the best way for me to do that. And I was maybe thinking about semi-pro options. And then I came across 2 agencies called Play Overseas and Student Athlete Network. Ended up working a little bit with both of them, but I worked with Student Athlete Network, which got me to Scotland. And so pretty much what they do is you can be if once you graduate from the university, wherever you're in America, you can come and study and get your master's in the UK. And you can do this all in a year. You can play as well. So that's kind of the offering package you get. And then this agency places you with different schools and try to see which school fits best for your game and which one you like the best. So, and University of West Scotland, just as the school that was introduced to me, and that just seemed like the best fit for me. And everything kind of just went from there.
So you have let's jump off of that point. You have a pretty unique situation in that you don't have an agent. You've only worked with these organizations that got you into Scotland. So that's something on this podcast, because we always talk about, how did you get your agent and all that stuff, and people go through different processes. This is way different than anything we've had in the past getting there. So some of our previous guests have talked about going through different agents and trying to find the right fit for them, and who wants to get their career advanced in different places where they want to go, who they have a good relationship with. What is something that you might see as an advantage to your situation where you currently do not have an agent, where you're going through the process and now you're in year 3 of your career?
I'd say, for me, one of the biggest things was, like we talked about before, being a Division III player, it is tough. And I always tell guys and people I've talked to, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get you where you want to go. You just got to find the best way that works for you. Right. So for most guys, some guys at Division I, Division II level, coming flat out and getting an agent and signing pro to some major leagues in Europe and stuff like that might be a great option for them. But you got to look at what works best for you, and I just try to figure out, okay, as a Division III player, what's going to be the best way for me to get to where I want to get to, me to get to overseas. And, you got to look at different options and be willing. A lot of guys at the higher levels aren't willing to do things a different way. They want to do the way that everybody else has done it. And I was like, no, let me figure out the way, like I said, that works best for me.
And as far as we know, you have been in the Scottish League now for 3 years. As far as I can remember, you so far are the only person that's been on the pod that's played in the Scottish League.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had people that have been in the English League and other leagues like that that have been, pardon me, close by.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about the Scottish League. Like you've been in there 3 years now. You've been in different towns and had some time in different teams while you've been there. What's your impression of the league? How competitive is it? What's the basketball like compared to what you had in Division Three that you experienced there?
I would definitely say the league is quite good. There's a lot of good players, a lot of guys who've played all over the place. I would definitely say the one thing that stands out is the league is a lot more physical. Playing over here, some of the calls I'm used to getting in Division Three level, you might not get here. And like I said, the style of play is different. As you can probably attest to, a lot of guys in the European, it's not more about iso ball. We're not just going give one person the ball and let them play. It's more of a team game here. You're moving the ball. You're finding your spots, and my situation where I played for the Renfrew Rocks and the team I play for now has kind of been different. But through the league, I said some really good players, some really good guys. And like I said, the overall just camaraderie around the league. Everybody's like super nice. Everybody, we talk to each other. Everybody talks. Everybody kind of knows what's going on. But at the same time, it's still really, really competitive. Everybody's trying to get to the top. Everybody wants to be the top dog in the league because it's more of a local thing. So it's everybody's trying more to, have those bragging rights locally around Scotland.
So actually, one of the things that because a lot of those teams in Scotland in that particular division are tied in with the university, what's kind of like the setup for you, like in terms of when you go over there? Are you staying in dorms? Or are they providing your housing? Anything else like that? What are the kind of like essentially the perks that you get as being somebody on that level in Scotland?
So some of the teams I don't know what some other teams do. My team does kind of provide housing for us. And so yeah, some of the team like when I was my first year here though, I was staying in a dorm, kind of like a dorm when I was playing for the university and playing for the team Renfrew. This year I'm getting provided housing. The last 2 years playing for Fury. So it's all depending on your situation, but that's how mine is here.
And in addition to, basically two different spots, we talked a little bit about the fact that, there's two different clubs. They're about 45 minutes apart. Your first club was just west of Glasgow. And I think that the Falkirk Fury are essentially kind of like halfway in between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, yeah.
So what's it like in terms of, in terms of comparing and contrasting the two different spots that you've been in off the court?
Yeah, no, the two different areas. So Falkirk and like the area I stay in now is a lot more slow paced. It's very more of like an urban area. It's not very like a whole lot going on. Where I was staying before when I was playing for the university in Rifford was a place called Paisley. A little bit more a little bit more up pace, a lot more going on. It's closer to Glasgow, so there's always a lot. There's a lot of people outside. There's a lot more things to do on the streets. There's a lot of events always going on. So it's just a lot more up paced than I would say than living in Falkirk now. Enjoyed both places. Get a both for kind of get a feel for both. But yeah, I would definitely say those are the two major differences between the two areas.
So, in terms of basketball itself, you played on two different teams. You started out with Renfrew, which is west of Glasgow, as we were saying, and you're in Falkirk now. You currently play in what is called the SBC Division One, the Scottish Basketball Championship. So there's three leagues there. There's no automatic promotion and relegation between those leagues. So a lot of what is played between those teams, I imagine you pretty well get to know your competition. There's not a lot of switching in and out, correct?
Yeah. Everybody knows each other very well in this league. Yeah, for sure.
And you're the lone American on your team, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, I'm the only American on my team. There is another American guy on my team as well, but he's half American, half Scottish.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's been quite a while. So he's been here a while. So I think he would clarify that he's been here. So he would say he's
So,
Scottish.
so your team makeup is mostly Scots or
Yeah, mostly Scots. Yeah.
okay, okay, that's interesting. And in terms of I guess one of my big questions is when you play in that league,
Mhm.
do you intend to stick in that league for a good while? You've been there 3 years now. You seem to like it. Do you have any intention of moving on to another league or moving up in leagues in Scotland or anything like that?
No, I'm quite content at the league I play in now. I really like playing here. I like living here. I would actually
Hmm.
like to stay here. The way of living here is a lot. It's very peaceful. People here are very nice. And I like the league. I like the way the league is going now. I like playing with the team I play with, like the guys. I love my coach. So I do a lot of work with my team and our youth groups with
Okay.
coaching and really helping out with just doing different clinics and stuff with them, coming to their practices, working with them, skill development and stuff like that. And I've kind of built something in that way. And I would like to continue to help those kids and build instead of, being somebody who's kind of just bouncing from place to place and never really building anything stable.
So I guess it's safe to say that sticking around there, playing there, it's a little bit more about it's more than just basketball for you at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, definitely, for sure.
Scotland is basically my favorite place that I've ever visited. I've been to Edinburgh and St Andrews and some cities like that, and some
Okay.
around the periphery of Glasgow, up at Loch Lomond and places like that on vacation a
Okay.
few times. And I've always loved Edinburgh, and I've always loved Scotland, as you said. What is your general impression like getting around Scotland? I know the Falkirk is about 35, a population 36,000. Renfrew is about 25,000. So like these are like what would be relatively small like ex-urban rural towns in America, about
Yeah,
the size of a place like Hagerstown or something like that, which you would be
exactly.
familiar with. I think their population's like 40,000, something like that.
Yeah, same, bro.
But what is your general impression? Like I know you said the lifestyle, everybody there is nice. That was the impression I got as well. Welcoming. But how have you been getting along there? What's your impression?
Oh, I love it here in Scotland. Like I said, it's just a great place to be. Like I said, it's one of these places that like once you've been here, it's hard to leave. Like talking about going anywhere else, it's like why would you want to go anywhere else other than Scotland? Like transportation here is super easy. I take the trains mostly everywhere going around. And like I said, everything is pretty I've been here long enough. I tell people all the time that I can pretty much get anything I need. There's a lot of things as an American you find that you're thinking in your head before you get here, like, oh, I won't be able to get that. I won't be able to get that. But you actually come around and like, no, I can pretty much get everything I need here. So that's been one of the things I've really liked about being here is like, there's nothing that's like too far. That's like, oh, I have to go here to do this or here. Nah, like, and if you go to Edinburgh, if you go to Glasgow, I can pretty much get everything I need. And, like I said, it's been really welcoming. Everybody's been super helpful if I need anything from anybody. And like I say, it's just a super, super like great place. Like I said, people here are amazing. The atmosphere is great. The weather isn't the greatest, but
Well,
other than
that's why everybody hangs out in the pubs all the time.
exactly. But yeah, so the culture here is I could say is a little different, a lot different in America. There's some things that you just don't it takes a while to pick up on, especially the accents here. It's English, but I'm not sure about that all the time. But
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same impression too. I like
yeah,
to say many of the Scots that I met are easier to understand when they're not sober, which I find to be interesting. Usually it's the other way around, but
yeah,
I found that to be if they have that really deep rural Scottish accent, it
yeah,
tends to go that direction.
yeah. People in Edinburgh are quite easier to understand, but people in Glasgow are very. Whoa,
Yes,
they,
yes. And
yeah,
Glasgow's the working class town of Scotland, is basically like the working class, manufacturing capital, whereas Edinburgh is like the posh, you know,
yeah.
upper middle class, upper class place where the monarchs hang out and that kind of thing. So
You've got it. You've got it. You got it.
yeah, I've been around Scotland a little bit. I love it there, just like you do. Even though the weather's not great, the general nature that's there that you can see is just incredible.
Exactly. Like there's so many places to visit, and like the one thing they have here is like castles. People
Mhm.
here are so like when I see a castle, I'm like amazed. Like I have to go. I try to go to all the castles here, and people are like, "Why?" People here obviously they're used to that, and I tell people there's not really any castles in America. You can't go find any, like
Not really.
not like here. Yeah, like you can't. So it's like that is super amazing to me. The castles, it's like going and like checking out all the architecture, all the history here. Going up to the Highlands, or I've been up there as well, and just seeing some of like the amazing mountains and the views you get to see. So it's a beautiful place. Like I said, it's a beautiful place for the big, beautiful people. So where else would you want to be?
Thanks to SeatGeek for sponsoring Expat Hoops. We recently became a brand ambassador for them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They offer a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. Green means good, red means bad. You get the idea. It's a really easy way to get tickets to events. Plus, our viewers get $20 off their first ticket purchase with the Expat Hoops code. Click the link in the description to download the app. Remember the code Expat Hoops, EXPATHOOPS, all one word, to save yourself $20 off your first ticket purchase with SeatGeek. So actually kind of one of the things I wonder is, you said you kind of want to stay there in Scotland long term. So what do you think that would look like for you? Because, one of the things that we kind of deal with on this podcast is sometimes people are usually trying to work their way up, whereas you're kind of like, no, I'm good. I kind of want to build something here. I think, one of the things that's interesting about like the clubs there is like, there's lower levels, like youth levels, essentially is what I'm saying. So it's entirely possible that, as you mentioned, that you're working with some of the youth players that, if you stay there for a long period of time, some of the guys that you're basically mentoring or coaching are probably potentially maybe going to wind up either being your opponents one day or maybe even teammates. So, looking ahead, if you could say you're going to be there in the next 5-10 years, however long it's going to be, what do you think that's going to look like for you? Or what are the things you're kind of looking forward to seeing?
I'm just really looking forward to just helping the growth of basketball in this country. Like, especially working with the team I work with, Falkirk Fury, there's a lot of good talent on the women's side. On the boys' side, there's a lot of good talent, helping them and helping develop the game. And, just doing all I can to help in that aspect. And like you said, there's going to be some of these kids that we have a pretty good team, and we have a lot of guys. And in this league, you tend to see guys play a lot longer in their age than you would see in other leagues. So a lot of these upcoming guys who are like under 18s, they'll get to a level where they can't make the certain senior teams, and then they will go venture off and play other places. So you can end up actually playing some of the kids that I've helped work with. I can end up playing against them, which you love to see. You want to see them thrive. You want to see them do great as well. So like I said, for long term for me though, like I said, I just want to help the game grow here. I feel like there's so much potential here. And there's not really much guidance when it comes to like skill development and kids really getting better and staying motivated. And that's one of the things I would like to provide here.
Awesome. Honestly, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's much different. Like in terms of everybody that we've had in the podcast, it's your typical professional career. You want to work your way up through the leagues and get paid more and get experience and be a professional basketball player as long as you can. Mm-hmm. This is much more than just like playing for you. Like you're trying to develop a game in a place where it isn't fully developed yet. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's like there's soccer rules here. I mean, football. I'm sorry, and rugby, soccer and rugby rule here. And like I said, basketball's on the come up though, and it's so much potential that's there. It's just it just takes somebody to really care enough to really want to help these kids develop their game and really get better. And it's like it's so much more. Like I said, if I can. I had to talk about this with my father, and he was just asking me about kind of the same thing you guys are. He was like, do you want to move up in league? What do you want to do? I was like, he was saying to me, well, if you've already built something here with the community, with the kids and the parents like you, and why don't just stay there and do that instead of, you said the average guy, most overseas players, they want to bounce, so they play someplace and they want to go up in their career and make more money, and which is all understandable, which is all great. But as I said, if I can build something and sustain something here, I would love to do that. I feel like that's just a reward than going up in leagues and making more money. I feel like I would gain just as much fulfillment doing that than, helping out.
We have merch. Head over to the Expat Hoop store where you'll find t-shirts, hoodies, masks, coffee mugs, pint glasses, and more.
It's one of many ways you can show support for the podcast, so head over there and pick up some merch. That link below is in the video description, or you can head over to our website, expathoops.com, and click merch. We offer a couple of different Expat Hoops logos, and we have men's, women's, and kids sizes, so you can get something for everyone.
Seems like you've traveled also quite a bit. Not only the fact that you've been in Scotland for 3 years now, and obviously, kind of what I'm referencing here is like your Instagram page, where you certainly have some of the stuff with Edinburgh, but and some of the stuff within Scotland, but you've also taken the opportunity to travel to other countries. If you could kind of discuss that as kind of again, as another perk of being an overseas professional athlete and being able to live the lifestyle of whether it's, just for a few days or like obviously with Scotland, you've been there for a number of years now, but you could kind of discuss how important that is to you.
Oh, it's very important. Traveling the world and seeing all you can see while you're here. It's so cheap. Once you understand, once you get to Europe, to travel around and see. So I've been to Spain. I've been to Italy, and recently this year I went to Amsterdam. I've been down to London as well, and I've been to Portugal. And I think it's super important. Like I said, if you're here, and I feel like a lot of overseas players, they get somewhere and they just stay there, venture out, never really do much. But like if you're here, why not venture off and see as much of the world as you can? Why it's very affordable for you. So I've always had that mindset of just going and traveling, see the world, see all you can while you can. Because once it's done, once you're back at home, and it's so much more expensive to go to these places. Like do all you can while you can. So my mom installed in me, like she was just like travel, see all the world. Don't let it just be one stop. Don't let it just be Scotland. Like see all you can. And I do a lot of it, and I show a lot of it as well for people, my family, my friends back home as well, to show them that there's more out there in life than your circumstance and what you're going through right now. A lot of my mom's friends will see me on Facebook post these things, and they're like, it makes their day. People have told me how much some of the stuff I post makes their day. So I don't always do it for me, but it's mainly just to help help other people with their day as well.
And this might be a good opportunity for you to drop your Instagram handle.
Oh, okay. So if you want to follow my Instagram, it's Von_Daniels1. That is my Instagram handle. And yeah, before we get done, I hope this is okay with you guys. I just wanted to say, the only reason I've been able to play basketball this long and play overseas, and it's through the grace of God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because as a Division III guy, as a guy coming out of high school, I wasn't the highly touted prospect. I wasn't nowhere clear any of these things, but I've been able to play for 3 years over here, and I just want to say all glory to God, because He's the one who's really made it truly happen. So.
Javon Daniels, thanks you for being a guest in the pod today and talking to us about basketball in Scotland and other things related to Scotland as well. We wish you the best developing the game there and your future in the game. Reminder to any listeners, follow us on Instagram at Expat Hoops and on YouTube for all of our latest content. And speaking of YouTube, Javon, we've got a couple of expat experts to talk to you about, which will go up on our YouTube. Care to stick around and talk?
Yeah, for sure.
Hello, and thanks for watching. Be sure to give the video a like, and you can watch more videos over here. You can also click subscribe over here so you're notified when we have new content here on Expat Hoops.